Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Heather Terry.
And this is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons or sometimes for no reasons at all.
That's right.
Because people be fucked up.
They are.
Okay.
She's diving in so hard to this banter. The second I walked in, she's like, I have the banter.
I do.
Cool. I have a story.
I do. Great.
Yeah.
That's almost how like the new rules, you know?
Check.
Gotta have
professionals. I've said it 1,000 times.
Yes, you have.
We are professionals.
Prepared professionals. Okay. First, I want to talk about our chemical peels that we got yesterday.
Yes.
The perfect derma is what we got done at Hatef Aesthetics in Owensboro.
Right.
Because they also have one in Nashville, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
We
got
that
in Kentucky.
Nashville. Fuck,
yes,
Tennessee.
everyone rushed to Nashville, Kentucky. That's their most popular location.
Is there a Nashville, Kentucky?
No.
Okay.
There's an Indiana and a Tennessee.
And
probably more.
Yeah. And like 3-year-old girls or something. Probably a lot of Nashville's there. Always cities. My fucking name's Brooklyn. That was a city. Like, let's be honest. Okay. So that was fun.
Yes.
Getting a chemical peel.
I've never done that before.
Me either.
Usually it's like, getting up there, turned 40 this year. Time to put our faces in Amber Teasley's hands and her team and let her rip.
Yes.
I was like, she's like, do you care? I'm like, do whatever you want.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about it. Like working with them is probably my favorite thing ever. I've called my mom and talked to her about it like every single time after we meet.
Oh my gosh. And they're so fun in there too.
They're fun and they're funny and the place is nice.
She said if we came in.
And it's so fast.
Yeah. She said if we came in there, she would work 12-hour shifts.
Yeah. And I would just hang out in there and be like, pump some more shit into my face, man. I say that I don't have any fillers. Like at the end of the day, I'm all about Botox or whatever generic version of the Botox.
To each their own.
Yeah. Well, I don't want people to be like, that's why her lips are so juicy. It's because it's filler. It's not. It's just my lips. No, but on the chemical peel, I'm very intrigued by the date that we chose to do it because we did it the day before recording. And as we were doing it, we're like, maybe we should Google anything before we're like, yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
And we don't pay any attention to what like the outcome is. So Easter's this weekend for us and not for us, for everyone.
Just for us.
Just for Kentucky.
Our Easter in Nashville, Kentucky is this weekend. Everyone else's, I don't know when theirs is.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Anyway, the day that our face is supposed to be like full hermit crab fucking
hermit crab snake.
No, wait, they just pop right out of their shells, right? They molt. I feel like we're molting out of our faces. Are we not molting out of our faces? Anyway, it's going to be on Sunday, Monday. So I'm really excited. I'm glad that we're currently in this like kind of dried out face husk that we have right now.
Right. Face husk.
Oh
my gosh. Like. He is risen and so are we. Yes. I said we were peeling for Jesus.
Yes, we are.
Peeling for Jesus.
Yes.
I can't wait. I'm a snake. Yeah. I'm just going to say that all day on Sunday. I'm a snake.
I hope I see you. I'll find you to see you to say that.
You have to.
Because it's only our Easter. So here's a thing that I've come to terms with. I was watching a show last night.
Okay.
I think it was Mobland.
Okay.
Which, if you haven't seen it, grab your remote. But only after you like, rate, review, and subscribe us. But, and people were fighting. They got hit in the face. And I was like, I think I need to get punched in the face. Now, hear me out.
Oh.
Hear me out.
You don't have to explain.
Okay. Your enthusiasm. Tone it down. No, but like, and I actually thought about it, like sitting here trying to be like, have you been hit in the face before? Like, I'm talking a true sucker punch to the face.
Punched in the face?
Punched in the face.
No.
I don't think I have either. I've been in a few fist fights. Mostly at the hands of my freaking sister. Love you, Brittany. But we've gotten into fights before, but I still don't feel like there was a full, like, punch to the dome. And I just feel like I'm 37. I'm going to be 38.
Okay.
I'm running out of my time to get, like, punched in the face. But I feel like...
Why?
I just think you need to... Number one, everyone needs to get hit in the face because everyone's a fucking cunt. Like, we're all shitty at some point. Everyone needs a good fucking punch to the face. I feel like it'll be humbling. And
I can help you out. I'd already told you.
Like, would you really punch me in the face?
Yes.
Truly.
As long as you swore and signed an affidavit saying that you would not retaliate in any way or make me feel any ounce of guilt ever, which I know you would do both.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
It's
She's
a bucket
asking
list
for
item.
it. Why is that on your... Okay.
I really do just think...
Let me hit you in the face then.
I just feel like that's a life experience.
Okay.
That I need to try.
If you want to do it, listen, you're someone's
Do you not feel that way at all?
Not about
Like,
getting punched in the face.
No.
No, not in the
Jess,
slightest.
have you been punched in the face?
I don't.
A true hit in the face? Do you have any... don't you feel like it's a life experience?
There's lots of life experiences that I don't have to do.
Well, I mean, I'm putting it on my list as like a to-do.
Okay. Well, I can help you out.
Travis was like, I think you would need to understand. So I talked to Travis about it. And first he was like, I think you need to understand that this is going to be a hard thing for you to achieve without getting charges pressed on you. You're a little too old for this. I was like, yeah, sir. And I was like, what if we just do it out of town? And I just get in a fight with somebody. And he's like, that's worse. So we're going to have to go there for court. And I'm like, okay. So I was trying to figure out how to get organically.
I'll just do it. We can plan it. It'll be great.
I don't know. Can you punch?
Do you want it? We're going to do it right now.
Do the... Oh, Jess just said you should do that for Patreon.
That's right. Listen.
I just don't know that you could really like give me what I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. Tell me this right before I do it. Right. See, I'm going to knock your teeth through your butthole. Oh my God. I will knock your front teeth through your...
Okay, you're not allowed to... It's in the eye.
Butthole.
I want black eye in this region type of deal.
Okay.
I was talking to... I had a meeting with my financial advisor today, Jeremy Edge. If you don't use him, he's great. In Owensboro at Baird Financial. And he's so awesome. Obviously, he's one of my friends. So me saying this doesn't sound like I'm like just having these weird conversations with my financial advisor. I've been friends with him for like 10 years. But he was like, don't you wish you could do that in a younger body? Because it's going to like hurt really bad. And your body is going to take a long time to like heal from a bruise on the face. And he goes, I really hope that you come in here one day with a black eye and I get to be like, good for you. Good for you.
I mean, I encourage all of your journeys. So if that is
I just think it's an experience that I would like to experience. Not that I would like getting hit in the face. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, but I do think I need to mark it off my list. I've been really...
I don't know where to go from here.
Really diving into what I want out of this life.
It's important to have goals.
It is.
What the fuck?
I don't know. And that's why I was like, I need to tell you about this new goal of mine to get hit in the face. And I never expected you to say that you would do it. I really didn't. I was like, I don't think Heather would do it. I even asked, like, I was like, Travis, do you think Heather would do it? And he's like, no. Like, I don't.
Don't underestimate me.
It's not underestimating you. I thought you liked me so much you wouldn't punch me in the face. I thought you'd be like, I could never do that. I don't want to hurt you. And you're like, yes, I'll do it. Done.
You don't know how high I can fly.
Apparently. All right. And then I'm going to find out she gets into boxing. So the first thing that Travis said, he goes, just get into boxing. If that's what you want to do so badly, get into boxing. And now I guarantee in like 3 weeks, I'm going to be like, where are you going? And you just don't tell me and I check your location. And you're fucking like, fight camp.
Fight camp?
Yeah.
What's fight camp?
I have no idea.
You mean club?
Yes.
What is wrong with you today? Is that the Temu version of Fight Club? It doesn't have Brad Pitt.
I think I'm just torn. I was supposed to go camping this weekend. Camp is
Fight Camp starring Tom Cruise. Coming to a theater. No, that's a straight to DVD. That's not even a streaming. They put it out on DVD.
I quit. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know where to go from
I don't
here.
either. Do you want to tell us a story? Is that what you want to do?
Let's box. Now I'm feisty.
Okay, good. Good. Get her all riled up.
She's going to say the things that she knows will push my buttons. And then
when?
I don't know. And then just to get me to hit you one day, you're going to catch me when I'm like a big bag of hormones.
I don't know. I'm going to put this on my list. It now made it onto the list. It is on the list. I've put it there. And then I'll let life kind of like compile it together. And we'll see if...
Just stick to growing garlic. Why are you wanting to get in fist fights at this camp you made up? Like, I'm talking. I'm fast forwarding this.
Do it.
I'm going to take a drink first so you can keep talking.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I think I need to wash that cup out.
Oh, There's no better feeling than when you go to take a drink out of a cup and you're like,
I think
I
that
haven't
water's
watched this in 3 weeks.
I know. Just like washing a bra, you don't do it all the time.
Right.
Just as needed.
Yeah.
Right?
How often are you washing your bras?
Every day.
No, I'm just randomly curious.
I don't know. I don't put it on a lid. Do you have a chart?
No.
It's like beige is on Tuesdays. Like, what do you?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know. You asked me that. This is riveting.
It is.
This is
It
riveting.
really
People would
is.
be like, I wasn't going to listen to their podcast, but then they started talking about fighting and how often they launder their undergarments.
I know, it's perfect.
This is a perfect
We're nailing it.
audio project.
We
We need to save this
guys.
stuff for the live show.
You're right.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah, for me to get punched in my face.
They
I just didn't know if anyone else felt that way. Like, if you look at life and you see these like little things and you're like, I didn't experience that thing. And I just don't want to not experience that thing.
Okay.
And as dumb as getting hit in the face, I feel like it builds character. And I think it's time to get hit in the face.
Well, dreams do come true. Like
Yeah,
I said.
All right.
Okay.
Tell me a story.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Cool. So my high school friend, Chastity Bartlett, actually requested this story. She was like, I'm sure you get annoyed with this, but she's like, I really want to hear your take on this. I saw this show and I want you to dive into it. And I was like, you know what, Chastity? It's 2 days before we record.
I don't have a story.
That sounds like a great idea. I was looking for one and it plopped and fell in my lap. So this is for Chastity.
Did she hit you up directly or through the...
She did directly, but we encourage you to do it through our Facebook.
Yeah.
Or email us.
If you want to hear a story.
Sassy cospodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Or just
tell us on
DM our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she
Because
slid
we
in.
want
It's
you to
so
give
much
us
easier.
stories.
And I got like 5 in the same day. It was weird. After I picked this one.
Oh.
And then like
toss me one,
other
bitch.
people.
I got to pick my story by the end of today. I need to know for next week.
My sources, season 1, episode 2 of the show called Handsome Devils
Ooh, I'm already excited.
on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
And I had already watched it and I was like, that's a fucked up story. And then I watched so much true crime shit that it went whoop right out of my brain.
Oh, I think it all just like sits in a fucking vat of sorrow in the brain.
Articles from the New York Times, NBC News, I wrote new, NBCnews.com, and Duke University published a paper analyzing the behavior. That's interesting as well. Ooh. There's also a book, didn't read it.
Well, you had 2 days, so
right.
I don't understand why you didn't.
I mean, I read like 4 other books in 2 days, but not really. Okay. Zachary Morgan Bowen was born on May 15th, 1978 in California. Now, there's not a ton on his childhood, but sadly in this one, you can definitely pinpoint when the wheels fell off the wagon.
Ooh, okay.
When Zach was 17, he went on a road trip with his dad, and they ended up in New Orleans, Louisiana. And after falling in love with the city, he decided to get a job and stay. And his dad was, because they were kind of like nomadic as they were growing up, like they moved around a lot and stuff. And he was like, I love it here. I want to start a new life here. I want to stay here. And his dad's like, all right. And then left. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah. He
That's
started going to
parenting
school
in
there
a
for a little
different way.
bit, and then he ended up dropping out of high school. He got his GED later, but anyway. So he was described as handsome and charismatic by everyone, and after he turned 18, he got a job at a bar, because apparently that is a thing that you can do.
Yeah, you can serve alcohol.
Yeah. Not in every state, but in Louisiana you can. Now, here's a picture of him. This is older. Just don't hold it up. This is
Just hand it to me. 'Cause
Okay,
they're
don't
saying
swipe
he's
around or
handsome.
anything. That's an older
All
picture.
the nudes.
No, I meant like on the photo because
Yeah,
I need
your nudes.
Yeah,
I know you take a lot of nudes. Okay, I can see it.
yeah. I mean, yeah, and that's a later in life,
Tiny glass of wine. Okay.
right?
It's like this big ass dude with like a thimble of.
He's
wine
very
glass.
tall, and some of the things I read it said he was 6'10", like tall.
He looks. Yeah.
Like he's tall as shit, and I don't know if it's 6'10" or that was a joke, but like my husband is 6'4". So that's tall to me. I can't imagine, like, what are you doing up there? Do your ears pop when you stand out of a chair? What is that? But anyway,
Dude, I'd be
tall.
like, dust my cabinets, bro.
Right, dust my cabinets.
My first thought is dust them cabinets.
Is that
Dude,
a
I'm fucking 5'2".
clumsy?
I gotta like
Is that a clumsy cover?
climb on shit to do that.
Dust my
stuff.
cabinets.
Yeah.
Okay. That would turn you on.
It would.
Cleaning, you'd be like, hey, you dust them cabinets, bitch.
You spray that pledge. It smells lemony.
Oh my God.
Just
Someone
like
please get that audio. I need that audio for blackmail. Okay. Now, keep in mind, some of the timelines vary a few years, but I stuck with what was the most consistent. So when he was working at the bar, I mean, you've worked in environments like that. You do extra shit, people pleasing for tips, like, you know, like magic tricks and flirt and corny bar jokes and all the things. Tricks. I know I didn't do magic tricks either. He did quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, so it worked out for him. And it was the 90s. So like wild time, 18-year-old guy, 6'10" with a ponytail, doing magic tricks at a bar in New Orleans.
Okay.
Setting the scene.
Yeah.
This is where he met Lana Shupak, and she was an exotic dancer visiting New Orleans with some friends and met him her first night there. Actually, her friend was like, oh, he's mine. But then he saw Lana and was like, oh, and her friend bowed out and was like, cool.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Lana was 28. And Zack may or may not have lied about how old he was because he fell for her so hard. She said on the documentary that he was 17, but everything else I read said 18. So he couldn't work in a bar.
Oh, it was just 1 year?
Yeah. Okay. But like between being a minor and an adult, though.
Oh, yeah. Right. That is very key. That is.
You're like, it's just 1 year.
I'm like, 1 year. I'm like,
legality.
Oh, I'm just thinking about like the lie. I wasn't even thinking about like statutory rape.
No, but he didn't. He alluded to the fact that he was in his 20s.
That's what I would
yeah. And he looked like he's huge, ponytail, bar guy. You just assume because he did look older. Now, after working his charm, he convinced her to just up and move to New Orleans. She was from Texas.
Are you fucking me in the ass right now?
No, and never. I will never answer the word yes to that. I might hit you in the face, but I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna peg you.
Never say never.
I might punch you in the face, but I'm not gonna
talk
peg
about
you.
that bucket list.
That's the actual. Fuck. Our wheels are falling off.
They are.
Okay, so she moves from Texas.
So really, like in that experience, like
she was like
from a weekend trip, drunken in New Orleans.
Yep.
The 90s, man.
She falls for him
crazy.
And is like, she was trying to get out of the exotic dancing business anyway.
I get that.
She went to take
hard
a
business.
trip.
I've done it.
Yeah, like
I haven't done it.
So not long after she moved there, she found out she was pregnant.
By him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is when the 18-year-old decides to tell Lana his real age, and she was pissed and broke up with him. Like, I'm not pushing a baby on you. You're a child. Like, she's like, you can be involved if you want or not, but I'm having this kid.
But so she had moved there for
him.
Mm-hmm.
And then found out she was knocked up right after. Now, they loved each other and she let it go, but now the 18-year-old had a family to support, so they got back together. Like, he was like, no, I'm gonna step up, be a man, I want this. Told his mom started bawling her eyes out. Sure. You're 18, you wanted to be an English teacher, then you go to New Orleans, you dropped out of high school, now you work in a bar, and now you're with you know what I mean,
like a 28-year-old exotic dancer.
Former exotic dancer. Right. Yeah. And so he proposed in the
90s.
Yes, very 90s. And they got married anyway, even though all of his family was like, don't do that. So a few years passed, and in May of 2000, they had...
Hold on real quick. Isn't it wild, this thought that his parents are like, don't step up and be a man?
Yeah.
Like, as a parent, they're actually mad at their son for being a good man for stepping up. Getting married because you got knocked up, like that's where it's 2025, right. different age.
Yeah.
But like in that sense, like you're upset because your son stepped up.
Yeah. And he loved her. Like he told his mom, like
I don't really know.
Yeah, no, he really truly loved her and was like, yeah. So a few years passed, and in May of 2000, they had another child. So 2 kids, the 9 or 10 year age difference, and they're just trying to make it. And Zack decides that enlisting in the army would be a great way to support his family. So then shortly after that, 9/11 happened, and then war started happening. Fuck. So he wasn't expecting that, but he did 2 tours. I say tours, I don't care. 2 tours. And one of them, he went to Iraq. And while he was over there, Zack experienced, before he left, super happy-go-lucky, everybody loved him guy. He had some huge losses when he was there. He had best friend when he was over there overseas, and it was a female, and she was 19, and she was killed in an explosion right in front of him.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he befriended a young Iraq boy, like kind of like a big brother influence situation. And the boy would bring him, like, his family owned a store, and he would bring him candy and Coca-Cola and stuff. And in exchange, he was teaching him English.
Aww.
So he was trying to be a good influence. Well, when the other side find out, they executed the boy and his entire family.
Oh my
So then he felt like it was,
Yeah, because
so he went through a lot of shit.
in that environment, it
Right.
technically
And then
impossible to not feel like it was your fault.
Right. And one of his army buddies said that, like, everything in his life that didn't work out, he took as a personal failure and took it really hard. Like, he beat himself up really bad.
I don't know anything like that.
You are like that. Lana said, though, when he came back, he was completely different. He was emotionless. He wasn't the same person she married. And they fought a ton. And she was trying to get him to open up, and he didn't want to unpack any of it. And so they split up. It took him forever to tell his mom that they were broken up. And she thinks because, again, he looked at it as he was embarrassed and it was a failure.
Right.
Like, okay. Cut to summer of 2005. Zach's now 27 and he's still in New Orleans. He's working the night shift at a bar in the French Quarter. And apparently the ladies loved him. He had a ton of friends. Things were looking up for him.
About how old is he now?
He was 27.
Okay.
Yeah. Addie Hall worked the shift after Zach at the bar. So he worked like the graveyard overnight, and then she would come in at 10. So,
okay.
And Addie was 27 years old. She was a free spirit, hippie, crunchy granola type, very
Love
artsy.
it. Yes.
She was artsy. She traveled. She loved to dance, wrote poetry, just like a cool ass girl.
Yeah.
Addie came to New Orleans from North Carolina to start a new life like Zach did. She was immune to his bar jokes and tricks, though. Like, she thought he was cheesy and a people pleaser, and like she was like roll her eyes and walk off.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, and but he was like, oh, she doesn't like me. That intrigued him. He just fell for her right there and was like, so he kind of leaned in. She wasn't into it, but one night he stayed after. He started staying after and talking to her and getting to know her, and they drank some Jaeger together. And then finally she was like, oh, you are nice, because he opened up a little bit. And after that, they fell for each other. He called his mom and he was like, I met my soulmate. We're an item. This is my soulmate. Addie's my soulmate. And his mom's like, okay, thanks.
It's been 6 minutes.
Right. She didn't know him as well. Addie didn't know him as well as she thought she did, though, and none of his friends did either.
Well, of course. Well,
So-
number one, she's like, I got drunk with him off Jaeger one time.
Mm-hmm. No one knew that on paper he was still married and that he was a father of 2. Like, even his best friend didn't know he had kids. Yeah. 3 weeks into it, 3 weeks after the dating, they went public with their relationship, and she was like, oh my God, I'm so happy, blah, blah, blah. 1 week later, August of 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit.
So 1 month from their Jaeger fest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
30 days.
Yes. Hurricane Katrina hits New Orleans hard. Now, Zach's ex-wife, she knew about Addie and was supportive, but she had no car and their 2 kids. So she called him and asked him to ride out the storm with them. Like, you have kids. I'm scared. They're telling people to evacuate. And he was like, no, Addie's freaking out. I'm staying with her. So they hunkered down instead of evacuating like everyone was telling them to do. For people who are overseas, Hurricane Katrina was one of the costliest hurricanes in U.S. history until 2017. It displaced over 1 million people and cost an estimated $125 billion in damages. 1,800 people died, and over 50 levees and flood walls failed, and 80% of the city was flooded. So it was fucking
It was terrible.
scary and terrifying.
It was terrible. It was
By-
so fucking terrible.
By landfall, it was a category 3, and it had some winds up to 150 miles an hour. So just staying there would be scary.
I mean, you weren't...
Yeah.
The word evacuation
Means leave.
means
Get
get
the
the fuck
out.
out of Dodge,
Right.
man.
Yeah.
Like, you don't hunker down shit when they tell you to leave.
Yeah, they were
'Cause-
literally saying, get out of here.
Yes, they have these things called science professionals. And those science professionals knew that a hurricane was going to kill people.
Science
And so you should get the fuck out. Dude, tell me I'm wrong. They said to leave. You
They
should
did
have
say to
left.
leave.
Like, when I lived in Florida, we were like, if they tell you to evacuate, guess what we're going to do?
Right.
Fucking listen.
Exactly. And it was compared to the apocalypse because no electricity, no running water, and it was basically lawless.
And you're like just sitting on the top of your roof.
Right. It
like
was
water, the floods were so bad.
Right. Zack and Addie made it through the hurricane, though, and in their apartment. And then they leaned into the catastrophe and made them grow stronger. Like they trauma bonded, basically.
Okay.
They created a sense of community down in the French Quarter, and it ended up being like a communal lifestyle that they created. So Zack and Addie would help clean up, cook food, however they could. They would even throw parties in the street. Like they'd be like, okay, and they'd go to the store and get like beans or whatever they could because they had to survive.
I was like, what kind of party?
Yeah, like and then they would go
swimming party.
No, they would do. They were bartenders, so they were like, let's party, and they would.
I know. I'm just like, how was there anywhere and anything there? You know, like besides the 20% that didn't flood,
looted. They would go,
Oh, so they were looty booties.
I mean, they were surviving. They were going get shit. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, to have parties is a different story than looting to survive.
Then like I need to eat food. So I get it. Yeah. They were leaning in and like to the Katrina couple is what they called it. So, like when COVID hit and everybody's like, oh, we're a COVID couple or whatever. Like they were forced to be like, they literally were starting to fall for each other, then trauma bonded. And then they came out on the other side like, oh, we're madly in love.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And they got national news coverage for this, for leading the charge on some stuff. So like photos were in like the New York Times and shit. So this is the one of the pictures that's Addie.
Oh, okay. I get what you were saying before.
Yeah. When you were.
All right. Him sitting in that chair is going to continuously make me chuckle because
the wine glass looks
so tall.
So tiny.
And he's like, kind of like.
His knees look like they're in his chin. Yeah.
Oh, that really worked my lower core.
Oh my God.
Ooh, titty hit the mic. Okay. We got a little wine going on.
Yeah. So.
She's high as fuck in this photo. We're going to make sure that you all can agree on this. Because tell me she.
And then, yeah. I mean, yeah. And then there's another one.
He is so tall.
Yeah.
Like, dude has to be 6'10". It wasn't a joke.
Yeah.
I'm choosing it.
Yeah, because he's probably
really
like
that's a way better photo.
Yeah.
He is super cute.
Yeah. So that picture was in the New York Times and he was like, like they're kind of famous, but not for leading the charge and rallying everybody together. So news people were coming to interviewing and stuff.
That's awesome.
But
this
whole time, Zack is ignoring the outside world, which includes his ex and his kids. And she literally thought he was dead. She was telling his kids that he was helping the Red Cross volunteering when she thought in her head their dad was dead. Because he wasn't answering her calls whenever she could call him.
Like this was way after, or when the phones were down, or like
no, the phones were back up, and he was just like,
that's what I was trying to
fucking
understand.
I don't
is this right after the storm and the fucking sun came out, and she's like, do.
She tried,
or is it 3 months after, and he's still doing it, and he's still not answering?
It was a little bit of time. Like
I understand why you wouldn't know that. I'm just like curious.
Yeah,
as to the timeline of it.
The phones were back up, and he wasn't answering his mom's calls, like nothing. He was just with her and hiding, and they liked this little bubble that they were in.
Okay,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I too like bubbles.
And there were several things that I read that said they would literally like it was so like a commune that like they were like fucking in the street and stuff. Like Zack and Addie would literally just be fucking in the street. So yes, in the street.
Okay.
Yes.
Free. Okay.
Yes.
A street that they own? Like, I just need to understand this street. Is it Zack and Addie Lane?
It is now.
I just try to understand, like, is this just me going out on Fredica?
I don't know.
Being like, let's give it a show? Or is it like an isolated street?
No, street. People there.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic employing your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their bangin' ass podcast studio,
where we are right now,
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
Your podcast can go further when you have a Wonderboy.
Hit up Drew today at wboymedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding.
And everyone was trying to get the city back to normal, and these two didn't want it to go back to normal. They had no work. They got to party all the time and all that. So they were like, we like this. So once life started heading back to the normal-ish, they weren't happy about it. And like, honestly, from what I read, 1 month after the hurricane, Lana called Zack and then finally got him, the ex.
Okay.
His ex-wife calls him and is like, oh my God, you're not dead. Fucking help me. Like, chewed his ass. Like, why did you not just text me or just say I'm not dead? Anything. So she's like, my job's not paying the bills. I need your help with the kids.
Yes.
Can you please be a fucking dad?
Yeah.
Like, stop fucking in the street and help me with your kids.
Pull out. Get in the house.
Right. So they met. He was like, let's meet and talk. So they met. He apologized. He was like, look, I was shitty. Let me take the kids every other weekend at least and start helping out.
I'm like so curious where the crime comes in here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like,
right.
I am very on the edge of my seat.
Right. Addie wasn't a saint from what I read, though. And they were super toxic together. I mean,
she got a little crazy in her eye.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I saw the crazy gleam.
She gets really jealous of his ex-wife, that she's making any decisions. And when the kids come over, she won't look at them, she would ignore them completely.
That's not the way to go if you want to win a dad's heart.
Right. She was like, no. And they would come over to his apartment. She wouldn't even talk to him. This was basically the beginning of the end of their relationship when real life started punching them in the face. And I really wrote punching them in the face, not knowing that you had a desire.
To be punching them.
They went back to work.
That sounds like a weird sex kink.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. They went back to work, and Zack worked in a grocery store, and Addie went back to being a bartender again. And they started using cocaine and other drugs. Apparently, they dabbled a little bit before.
I was gonna say no one's a server without the nose candy.
They
in New Orleans,
they dabbled a little bit with drug. They just said cocaine and other drugs. I don't know what the other drugs were. I'm assuming weed etc.
My automatic assumption, weed and oxy.
Drinking all the time, and it was not a good environment. They were spiraling, and Zack's demons from his unchecked PTSD started coming back to haunt him bad. One of the things I read that it kind of triggered him a little bit whenever they sent in the National Guard and stuff, and they started driving their tanks down the street. Sure. And then he started having flashbacks of his overseas time and stuff in the army. So he started getting super jealous of Addie, like crazy jealous. And Addie was a party girl, free spirit all the time.
Yeah.
So they showed her bar boss on there, and her bar boss was like, she got on the bar and danced. She liked to have fun. So when she was working, she'd just hop up there every now and then just for fun, not like taking her clothes off or whatever. And he would cause big scenes, like yank her down and all this shit. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you kind of got to know your environment. Like, if you're dating a bartender, granted, you don't have to hop up on the bar, but you got to have a mutual respect.
Yeah.
Mutual respect. But he also didn't have to cause a scene. Like, I don't know.
There's so many
ways you could approach
skin that cat for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
When she was like, tough shit, I'm at work. I'm going to dance on the bar and I'm going to do whatever I want, basically. Like, I'm going to do what I want and make money. So you can just deal with it. And he was like, oh, okay, fine. So while she was at work, he would go have a bunch of one-night stands. Like, to get back at her. He was like, well, fuck you then. I'll just go party and do whatever I want. That was his way of getting back at her. Yeah. Addie is like, oh my God, I need to leave him. And she's going to start out a plan.
Honey.
So one night they're playing drinking games and they get in a huge ass fight. And
shocking. Drinking alcohol quickly.
The next morning, he told his friends, like, I'm fucking leaving New Orleans. I bought a ticket to Washington State and left Addie a note, basically, like, I'm fucking leaving.
Would he care about his kids? Apparently not.
He decided to come back, and because he talked to Addie constantly, and then after 2 weeks, he came back. 2 days after he got back, they fell back into their pattern of the drugs, drinking, and fights. Literally every 24 hours, his best friend was like, they broke up every day. It was like to the point where they were losing people out of their lives because they're like, we can't handle this. Just fucking stay away from each other. He even told her one time, like, if I can't have you, then nobody can have you. And her boss on the documentary was like, that's graveyard talk, which I think is graveyard talk. She was so cute. She's like, he said it and I heard it and it's graveyard talk. And I'm like, you know what, lady that owned the bar? It is graveyard talk.
That is graveyard talk.
Yeah.
That's what the name of the fucking podcast should have been.
Right. Here's the twist though. Zack was still cheating, and this time
How is he still cheating? I thought they were basically not together.
Oh, they got, yeah.
Soft. I'm calling, and at this point now, they're not really together.
Well, yeah. But he was still cheating.
Got a bitch
But this
pregnant?
time, it was with a dude. Because he was bisexual.
And no one knew?
Oh, he told people.
Oh, okay.
But
You just left it out? You just omitted and lied to me this whole time?
Addie was so pissed. Like, she was like, it's one. Yeah, I know. I'm like, dude, he was cheating anyway. Guy, girl, goat, whatever. Like,
at the end of the day, he was already cheating on you. His dick was already in other things.
Yes.
So why care about the vessel when it's been in so many?
right.
But
So she was pissed and she wanted to get back at him. So,
did she go have a whole bunch of one night stands? Because this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
okay, she wants out, but she pretends to get a new apartment. And, like, she was like, hey, let's get an apartment together. We need a fresh start. Da da da. So Zach is making a lot of money because he works all the time. So he's actually making decent money, getting tips and stuff. So he gave her the money to put down the deposit and a month's rent or something on an apartment that was a studio apartment above a voodoo shop, which sounds very New Orleans.
Yes.
And Addie told the landlord, she called and was like, hey, draw up the lease. And then she left Zach off the lease and kicked him out.
Nice.
So she was like, okay, well, we're done. And you can, this is my apartment that you just paid for.
Smart.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
they're really fucked up.
she
These are
was-
two fucked up humans. Like, I just want to really
Yeah.
highlight that the toxicity of this feels similar to the chemical peel on my face.
It is, yeah. And she was throwing things and screaming at him, like, get the fuck out. And, like, apparently when she fought, she would fight dirty. Like, she was described as knowing exactly how to stab you and your insecurities, which he was always insecure, and, like, twist the knife.
Oof.
So, like, she would hit him where it hurt. And so when he's saying he's bisexual, she's screaming obscenities at him. And she was described as a little homophobic, which surprised me because she was very free
How are you a
spirit.
free? You cannot. Then you're not a free spirit.
I know, right?
There's no way.
I typed, yeah,
Your fluidity and sexuality would
right.
so be like a butterfly. Like, it's whoever's aura.
And
strikes you.
he had just came out as bisexual like a little bit before this public, like he didn't brag about it, but if somebody asked him, they would tell him. So the fact that she was basically saying like slurs at him and all this stuff, like
Spicy.
it struck a nerve bad. So during this fight, he snapped and strangled her until she passed away. Now he's like, oh my God, what the fuck did I do? And then he goes on a drunken bender with her body in the apartment. He stayed there and got out Addie's journals and starts documenting everything. At first,
This is going in such a way.
right? At first, he writes down everything that happened and basically it's a confession. Like that's how we know what was said and what, because he wrote it out.
Okay.
He also wrote that he violated the corpse, aka necrophilia. And I
thought you were
really
gonna
loved
say-
her. So after she was dead, he violated her corpse. And that's all that was said. So I'm assuming he slept with her after she was deceased. After a few days,
There's a lot.
After-
Technically, real quick though, technically violating a corpse could be anything.
they insinuated it was sex.
Because I'm like, he
The
could
guy
have been
that-
like, look at this spoon.
No, I think it was sex. Like the book that I didn't read, they had the author on the documentary and he was
my
like,
God, he had sex
so
with a dead body."
necrophilia. Yeah. After a few days, Addie's body started to decompose.
Yes.
He turned down the AC as cold as it would go.
Okay.
And he put Addie's body in the bathtub and he writes in the journal how he's going to try to dispose of her body. He called some friends and said, they were like, where the fuck have you been? And he's like, oh, she left me. She went back to North Carolina. So for 2 fucking weeks, 2 weeks,
14 days.
Addie's body is in the apartment and he's just going on a fucking bender in the French Quarter. Like, right.
Okay, so follow-up question. It's just in the bathtub? Have we heard anything about ice? Or just in the bathtub?
Just in the bathtub.
With just the AC low?
Yeah. Okay. Like,
In an apartment?
yes.
Okay.
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 In New Orleans.
What month?
It's hot. Okay. So He wasn't answering his calls, and his best friend was like, dude, fucking call me back. What is wrong with you? So he calls his best friend back and got a hold of him, and he was like, she left me. We're going out tonight. It's on me. Let's go. So he went, gets a big bag of cocaine, goes and gets his friend, has a wad of cash, and they go to strip club. His friend said, okay, he's back to normal. He's single again. He's having fun. Like, he seemed like his own.
That's like a fucking casual Friday night, right?
Yeah.
His big old bag of blow.
Right.
Some ones.
Yeah.
And the strip club.
So they had a great time.
I'm sure.
This whole time, he was writing messages in his journal, and then
wait, this whole, not like while he was out doing blow and with the strippers' titties. He went home and wrote in the journal.
Yes.
I literally, you said that, and I literally just sat here imagining him like sitting at the lap dance part of a bar, like journaling.
Yeah. So they goes up, they go home the whole time. Like I said, he was doing.
I can't believe you didn't laugh at that, but okay.
No,
it's totally fine. You don't
I got
laugh.
nervous that I accidentally deleted some stuff, so I was actually not listening to you guys reading.
Oh, that's nice. That feels good. Thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Anyway.
But okay, did you hear this part? Okay, so he was writing in the journal, but he was also spray painting messages on the walls. Because remember, he's drunk and
in the
fucked
apartment.
up in their apartment, just spray painting shit all over. The next day, he goes to a rooftop bar in the French Quarter, and then he's drinking all day. He seems normal, and around 8:30 p.m., they see him pacing by the rooftop.
Okay.
So rooftop bar, drinking all day.
Spray painting nonsense.
At home.
Dead body in bathtub.
Yeah, okay.
Completely, fully
okay.
decomposed.
So the next thing you know, they look over and he wasn't standing there anymore. He had jumped off the roof and landed on the parking garage next door. In his pocket, they found a baggie, and it had his military dog tags and a note that said that he had to take his own life for the life that he took. Then it gave the address and said, you need to go here right now.
Oh my gosh.
So the police rush over there. When I say stuff was spray painted on the walls, like they were huge messages, and it's on the documentary and you can look it up. I didn't even take screenshots because it kind of shook me. It was just,
I'm sure.
Like one says, call Lana. And then it says wife in parentheses, and that like his ex-wife.
Like spray painted words on the wall. Yeah, I was going to say huge, right?
Like huge. Yeah.
I have an idea in my head.
One said, I loved her. Another one said, total failure. It was on every wall almost. I'm such a loser was one of them. Please help me stop the pain. And then the most chilling one that I saw said, look in the oven. Then above the oven, there was an arrow pointing down, and then spray painted on the, and it said, look, with an arrow. Yeah. And then on the oven, it said, don't look. On top of the oven, there were two pots. There was, and when they opened it, Addie's head was in there and had been cooked down into one.
In the pot.
On the stove. And then the other pot, the officer lifted the lid and said her hands and feet were in there. In the oven, there was a large turkey pan, and both of her legs had been cooked. So he slammed that shut. And the detective in the documentary was physically shaken. He said it was the worst scene he's ever seen.
Can only imagine.
This day. He said it still haunts him to this day. And this was in 2005.
How would it not?
Yeah.
Tell me the fuck how it would not. That's a horror movie.
He was like, I don't want to look around. And he said, I honestly was like, I don't want to look anymore in this. But like, he wanted to be like, can I take a break? But he kept going. And he knew he had to. So he opened the refrigerator and he saw a large garbage bag, and that's where her torso was in the fridge. The news got out to the media, and then they started calling him the New Orleans Butcher. Now, during this, his ex-wife, she knew she couldn't get a hold of him. He had called her that day and said, come meet me. And she was like, she's like, I could tell he was fucked up. And I was like, no, I have the kids. I can't come meet you. And then her friend called and said, have you seen the news? Because the news got out about this already. So she had to learn about all this on the news. Like, that's my children's father, and he killed her. Like, yeah. So he was writing in the journals, and it chronicled his spiral. Like, after the fact, he was trying to figure out a way to dispose of her body piece by piece. So he cooked them so it wouldn't smell as much.
Okay.
Which is so fucked up to even say out loud.
Yeah.
Like, what? And it was,
he had time. He could have, there's lye and shit to, like, make it through.
This was kind of hard for it was hard for me to write because there's a lot of unaddressed mental health issues too.
Yes, 100%.
Like unchecked
100%.
PTSD, like a lot of mental health issues in this story that I was like, ugh. It doesn't excuse his behavior. But it obviously played a role.
A huge role.
Like
the role.
Not everybody with unchecked PTSD, etc.
Right,
do
of
this.
course.
But like it was really hard because I'm like, this could have gone so many different ways that did not have to end like this at all. He was self-medicating with drugs and alcohol, and then they were toxic together, and they both had their own demons. And like I said, it didn't have to end that way, but that is the...
I mean, they didn't even like try to get help. Like, it's not like attempts to get help were made. But what we also have to like stop and think about in this particular storyline is like, if he could have gotten the help whenever he got back, though he didn't want to because of his own issues, thinking that was a failure, whatever his own journey was. If he would have gotten help then, like that would have been the best case scenario.
Right.
But we're also talking about a young man who is also in the service industry. He likely doesn't have insurance. He's working nights. He's partying and drinking. It organically leans itself for him to not address his own issues.
Right.
And then you get into a relationship, things are great, you're having a good time drinking, then before you know it, we're all doing lines off a glass table with $100 bit. Like, and before you know it, it turned into what it did.
Yeah, and then the hurricane hit, and then they got in the bubble, then the bubble got popped, and then they had to go back to normal, but they liked this part. They liked being no responsibilities,
Who
no
doesn't,
living,
right?
flying by the, you know what I mean? And then they were, I don't know.
It's crazy that they enjoyed like what, like I can only speak to what I saw in the news. I don't know shit about what happened in New Orleans because I wasn't there.
Right.
I'm only going off of old news that I had seen. But like all the other people that were there were not loving the experience of losing their homes, trying to stay in lines at Red Cross, like doing all the It blows me away, I guess, that someone enjoyed.
Right.
I'm happy with anyone finding the good in any situation, but
that's why they got news coverage.
Yeah,
because they were like happy party, whatever. Like his mom said, I think he was sad when the electricity came back on. His mother said that.
Oh.
Like, because she's like, he didn't have any responsibilities and all that stuff. And that is the sad story of the murder-suicide of Zack Bowen and Addie Hall. And I do want to say, for any suicidal thoughts,
yes,
if you need to talk to someone, you can call or even text 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. It's free. It's available 24 hours, 7 days a week. So you can even text them, so you don't even have to call.
Yeah.
And again, thank you, Chastity, for rocking my world with...
Yeah, that's a wild story. That's a sad story. I see why you haven't done it. Because it's not our normal.
Right.
You can't get mad. I'm not feeling any rage. I'm not trying to like flip over anything. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate series of events.
It could have played out a lot of different ways. It did not have to be that. And if you do, like, I watched, seriously, if you're interested in this, I would watch the documentary because there's just seeing the photos of, it has crime scene photo, like you can see all the spray paint and you can just see someone's I've never seen images that you can actually see the spiral of a human. And that it kind of stuck with me a little bit. So.
I bet. Do you ever read the book? I think it was called, I could be wrong and I hate that. I'll have to look it up later, but I think it was like Go Ask Alice, maybe.
I don't think so.
It was a book that was it was a journal of a young girl who got into drugs. And it was a book that you could read journal entries of her complete unravel. Into where like she's like having sex for drugs type of thing. And she was like a really good like 15-year-old little kid. It is Go Ask Alice. So I read that book. There's two things that got me. Okay, I've been super open about my drug use because I don't fucking care. And I'm going to be honest about it. But like Go Ask Alice, reading that when I was in middle school to like, I think it was in middle school whenever I read that. And then Requiem for a Dream, that movie. Those are the two things that like will make you be like, I do have boundaries in my drug use and I will always, and I say that, dude, you guys, I smoke a little weed sometimes. I don't do anything. And I did cocaine when I was in Miami and Molly. When I was like 19, they meet you partying in Miami at Club Space. Judge me. I don't care.
Miami, Ohio?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, but like you don't do like I'm not over here fucking doing hardcore drugs. But like there's
I've been lying to everybody.
Right?
I tell everyone
my chemical peel was really just my like
her crack pipe exploded.
right.
And it gave her a little splishy splash. Crack splash.
Oh, okay.
What?
Anything a backlash, crack splash.
Crack splash. Ew, that sounds like diarrhea.
Ew. Anyway, all I'm saying is like the drug usage,
Right.
and like having no checks and balances, and like being in an environment that just like absolutely adds to the party vibe. Like they weren't gonna win.
Yeah, it was definitely an uphill battle.
Yeah.
But
well, thank you for sharing that story.
You're welcome for sharing that story.
Thank you.
Thank you for thanking me.
Don't forget, like, rate, review, subscribe. We have some exciting things coming down the pipeline.
That's right.
We're always going to have exciting things coming down the pipeline. A, because we have ADHD, and B,
No one can tell that.
Patreon.
No one can tell we have
Right.
ADHD.
Worked so hard not to. But like Patreon, we have a lot of great Patreon content. We're always going to be constantly loading some episodes that are kind of behind the scenes, things that no one else gets to see. We are also going to be filming some Patreon content coming up in
A couple weeks.
No,
A week.
it's
What?
next week. I was trying to think, where are we going? Mammoth Cave, and we're actually doing some Patreon content there. So
Yes.
not at Mammoth Cave.
I
We're
know,
doing
that
other
sounds like
crazy
we're
shit while
like-
we're on vacation.
We have little miner's lights on
Right.
and we're like, we're going to go spelunking. No, like. Now I kind
No,
of
we're
want
doing
to.
shit for like the Airbnb.
Now I kind of want to.
Yeah,
Sassy spelunking.
Yeah.
With Heather in Brooklyn.
we are canoeing,
Yes.
and we are going on some tours. But anyway, like, rate, review, subscribe. We
Yes.
love you guys. Don't forget, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
We love you.
We love you. Bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at WBOYmedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, a couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?